folks, and welcome to Sloppy Seconds. This week on this week's episode, we have the legendary Miss Coco Peru, and it is such a good interview. I love her.
We're just nailing it these days.
Yes! Well, we got great guests.
How incredible. We talk about Coco's career. We talk about what inspires her. We talk about all the amazing things she's done, the incredible projects she's worked on. I mean, talk about life advice, guru chats. Like, this is a good listen.
Yeah, I'm super excited for you guys to hear this. And she talks about poop at the end. Goodbye.
I'm embarrassed.
Enjoy. And if you're in LA tonight, please come to Fat Slut. We got Tammy Brown, Kim Chi, and a whole lineup of other divas you should see. All right, let's party.
Bye.
Forever. Dog.
When your first choice is a big old bus,
You turn around and boom,
you end up with us. Sloppy Seconds.
Oh, diva. Our number is 213-536-9180. Our email is sloppysecondspod@gmail.com. Now, on with the show. Are you ready for some sloppy seconds, you stupid little fuck, you not little fuck, you dirty little fuck, you stupid little fuck? I'm Big Dipper, and that's Meatball. Welcome back to Sloppy Seconds with Big Dipper and Meatball.
Oh, did you go to your vocal coach today?
That was me flatlining. No, I didn't make it to class today.
You seem warmed up.
I'm ready, baby. I'm up.
What?
I'm awake. I slept normal last night.
Okay. We have talk about a start to the year 2022 legends only.
Absolutely.
Everyone has been raving about our episode last week with Rocco Steele, and this week we have icon and legend herself. You've seen her on stage and screen, TV, film, YouTube, a lover of bargains, bobs, and big box stores. The Tension Tamer Tea diva herself. It is
Coco Peru!
What a great intro. You wrote that.
I did.
I did. Yes, I did. I'll email it over to
you. Would you consider the flip a bob? Is it in the bob family?
I think no, I don't know. I don't know anything. All I know is that I could take care of the flip. Anything else bigger than that flip, I was a mess. I have no skills when it comes to hair or makeup or costumes or anything like that. So I was so broke when I started Coco Peru. I was relying on the kindness of strangers, and then I got to the point where I felt like, okay, now I'm just annoying these people, going to the hairdresser every couple of weeks. So that hair just came about because it was the only thing I could take care of.
Now, how are you taking care of it? Like, I need to know, are you re-curling the flip?
Marsha Brady at night.
I
wash her out. I take the comb down. I break it into little sections, and I stick a curler in there. The steam curlers. It works like a charm.
Okay.
Is there more than one?
Yeah. How many of them do you own?
There are a couple now, but the only reason that happens, I traveled for years with one wig, and one time in a dressing room, another queen asked me, "How many wigs do you have?" I said, "One. I take very good care of my things." And she said, "Girl, what if something ever happened to that one wig while you were out on the road?"
Right.
And this fear, like raw fear, went through my body because I realized, I never thought of that. So now I travel with two.
Okay.
Have you Jodie Harsh probably? She also has an iconic wig. She has the big left swoop, and she'll post pictures of them, and she has like 30 of them, and they're all identical. And I'm like, at a certain point, if you have one for every day of the month, it's time to stop.
Yeah, really. They're just multiplying at that point.
Yeah.
There's some weird science going on.
So was there ever a period, we want to get to the beginning, but while we're talking about the iconic hair, were you ever blonde? Did you ever do an updo? Did you ever have or it's like this was it right from the beginning?
In the very beginning, my hair was it was larger and more complicated. And that's why I was going to my niece's friend, Frank, to get my wig done.
Okay.
And he was very sweet at first, but like after a year of me going there and him doing it for free, and it was a big job.
Yeah.
I could see him roll his eyes as I approached the shop.
But even then, was it red? And it was that
always
style.
It was always red.
Okay.
Now, of course, back then, Madonna was all the rage, and I thought I'm going to be a platinum blonde, and I put on the blonde wig, and I had never done drag before, so I wrote my show first, and then I was discovering what I was going to look like because I had already booked the show
for the show.
Yes,
Wait.
I had already booked the show. I'd never done drag before,
And it was like a drag show or a theater show.
it was the Coco Peru theater show, and I had never done drag.
Wait a minute.
You made the whole
Okay,
show.
wait. We gotta
without
backtrack.
picking
We gotta
Coco?
go back.
Okay.
We gotta go back.
Take us back,
Take us
Meatball,
back
take
to
us
the
back.
very beginning. Okay. How did you decide that you were gonna do a drag show? Like, was there a call for an open slot, and you just?
No, I wanted to be a cabaret performer because I had had experiences in college with that. And Jonathan Lawson, who wrote Rent,
Yeah.
I was in a couple of his cabaret shows with him. He wrote the music.
Oh.
So I loved the world of cabaret, not the cabaret where people sing like the Great American Songbook, although I think that's great. But the cabarets that I was involved in were very political, very like out there, and sometimes even politically incorrect, to make the point.
Yeah.
And so that's what I wanted to do. Then I actually talk about this in the new show that I just wrote. I went to Peru. I met a drag queen down there. And at that time in Peru, it was very Catholic, very homophobic, the gay community was so underground. And yet this drag queen was famous in Peru. And I just became obsessed with, how does a drag queen become loved in a country like that?
Wow.
That's crazy.
And so I started thinking there's got to be some sort of powerful transformation that occurs when you have the courage to be authentic.
Yeah.
I had been so shamed growing up, being called a girl and all this stuff. And I had gone to theater school where I was always told to lose the Bronx accent, to butch up. And I wasn't even out then. So this was doubly shaming. And so when I met that drag queen, it put the seed in my mind that I needed to own everything I had been taught to hate about myself. And so I started writing a show from this perspective. And then I called myself Coco, and I added the Peru. And then I booked the show 3 months before I ever did drag.
And you had never put on a dress or just flounced around in a room, tried something out?
Once in college, I did do boy drag, I would say.
Okay.
That was inspired by Boy George, like that whole thing. And because I was broke and I had no money to buy a costume. And another time in my house, I had gotten a video camera for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I put on a wig and a dress that my sister had. It didn't even fit me. And I lip synced Respect. And I watched it and thought, that's really good.
We need the tapes. Release the
tapes.
So
I live with that. You were like, that's a star right there, baby.
You need that.
If I'm going to be honest,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be honest, back then I was actually terrified of drag queens.
I'm
sure.
currently terrified of drag queens.
You look in the mirror, Meatball, and you're like,
Burn it.
well, no, it's I was reading some articles some interviews that you had done, and I think they're especially, you have seen so much happen throughout your career with the adoration of drag queens, and how it was a very underground, a very taboo thing, to becoming a little sprinkle, a little extra something at a party. Now it's a mainstream,
it's crazy.
form of media. So I can only imagine that it was like scary and sort of, especially for people who have internalized shame.
Yes.
It feels like the gayest possible thing, right?
It was a big secret. I had to keep it a secret from any guy that I was interested in that I did drag, because that was an automatic I can't date you.
Hide the wigs or the wig.
And then I
just the one.
Well, yeah, just the one, exactly. If it's
No, but-
easier, just toss it in the closet.
You say that reminded me because I lived in New York like maybe 2 years before RuPaul's.
Did you? Where?
I lived in the Lower East Side in the East Village.
Oh, okay.
In the East Village. And I lived there like 2 years before RuPaul's Drag Race came out. But me and my friends would go to the gay bars and we would see like Bob back when she was kitten with a whip and stuff. And I was terrified to talk to them. I was like, these people are so scary. They're beautiful. They run the show. They're in so much command of the room that I was like nervous about it. But now that you said that, I was like, oh yeah, it's probably because when I was at acting school at the time, they were telling me the same thing they were telling you, like, quit being so faggy, butch it up, da 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 da. And so I was like trying to stay away from them, and now I am them.
And then I also, at the time when I created Coco and I started to tell people what I planned on doing, I was met with drag queens don't talk.
Right.
Doing monologues. You're talking about politics in the church. And like people couldn't figure it out. But I had a real vision for myself. And once I committed to saying the words out loud, I'm a drag queen, it was like the universe. And it really, this is so real to me. It was the first time in my life I felt like the path was laid out and the universe was saying yes. Things started to fall into place. And for the first time in my life, I had a goal that was bigger than my fears. My fears had directed my whole life. And this was the first time I had something that was bigger than my gigantic, enormous fears. And to this day, I have horrible stage fright, terrible fears of being judged, fears of not being liked, all of that stuff still is in me. And yet Coco has allowed me to focus that attention on that there's something bigger than me.
Wow.
And so that's what drives me forward.
That's incredible
That's so
because
cool.
there are a lot of people we talk to about the beginning stages of their career, and I think for both Meatball and I, like, it was just, oh, I'll try that one time, or oh, let me get up here and see that, or let me write a song, or let me do this. And what's so interesting here is that I was gonna ask, did you think after that first show that decades later this was gonna be the path you're on? And clearly it seems like
I had a vision.
The world opened up for you.
I thought it would open up and I would play like other parts and be more of an actor. I didn't realize that Coco would be the thing.
You were branded from the beginning.
Yes. And that's okay. And years ago, I went through this life is up and down. It's never an easy thing. And I was in a real down slump. And I had said, I'm quitting drag. I can't do this anymore. And my mother said, you better be good to Coco because she's been very good to you. And I thought, if my mom can see that, then I need to rethink this and just get focused again on what the goals are. And my husband keeps me very grounded because whenever I start to compare myself to other people or their careers, or, here I write a show for months, editing, rehearsing, spend fortune making tracks. And then, some queen from RuPaul's Drag Race is lip syncing one song and doing it poorly because she's 3 sheets to the winds.
Correct.
They're making 3 times, 4 times the money that I could ever ask for.
Yeah, well, more well-known or
it is so
in the
crushing.
moment doesn't mean more talented.
It is so crushing sometimes. But my husband will always say, why did you create Coco Peru? And that puts me right back at the bottom line, which is I wanted to make the world a better place for future generations of LGBTQ people. And as soon as I get back to that baseline, the other stuff kind of falls away. The comparing yourself to other people and all the stuff that we insecure actors tend to get caught up in from time to time.
Totally. Wow. That's an amazing, because honestly, I think there are a lot of people out there who the beginnings of their career were like, I don't know, I was drunk and I grabbed a microphone. And it's very cool to hear.
That's me, baby.
It's very cool to hear that there was so much thought behind it.
Yeah, I kind of want to, well, we should probably go to break now.
Yeah,
but then when
let's do that.
We'll be right back.
Okay, something about me. I love shopping. shopping? If you love shopping too, you have to check out Rakuten.
And all you have to do is shop, 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 shop. And with Rakuten, you get cash back and rewards on almost everything you buy.
Exactly.
Shop.
Homeware, daily essentials, jeans. We're talking eBay, CVS, and even Levi's.
Ooh, so I can buy a vintage couch, tons of paper towels, and grab a new pair of jeans and still get cash back.
And that's not all. You can even stack those rewards on top of sales and coupons.
But Big Dipper, how does this magic work?
Well, I'll tell you. Rakuten is paid by partner stores to send them shoppers, and then Rakuten passes on some of that money to you, the member.
Rakuten is so real for that.
Plus, Rakuten has 17 million members who are already saving. Don't you want to become one of them?
Join for free at Rakuten.com or download the Rakuten app and start saving money now.
That's Rakuten.com or download the Rakuten app today. Do you want to improve your sleep? Well, listen up and get a Helix.
Whether you sleep on your side, your back, your stomach, Helix makes premium mattresses that are designed to fit your specific sleep style.
You know, now that it's spring, why not upgrade your sleep game and get a Helix mattress?
And you know what?
What?
I can guarantee you that they have a mattress for you with over 20 different styles and models for you to sleep on. I love sleep. I can't get enough of it.
And I love my Helix mattress. So ever since I got the big and tall, I know we go on and on about it, but it's a perfect fit for me. I haven't had a mattress before that I was able to select a model from, and I'm so happy I got to do that with Helix.
And I too have the big and tall model, and it's perfect for my big and tall body. I loved it so much, I got a second one from a guest room.
True.
Yes, baby. And the people are sleeping great in there when they eventually do sleep in there.
Best of all, Helix delivers right to your door with free shipping in the US, and you can get a 120-night sleep trial to make sure that it's right for you.
You also get peace of mind because Helix mattresses are backed by a limited lifetime warranty and have been recognized by experts at places like Forbes and Wired. And me. I am a sleep expert too.
Period. Go to helixsleep.com/sloppy to get up to 27% off site-wide during their Memorial Day sale.
That's helixsleep.com/sloppy and make sure you enter sloppy seconds after checkout so that they know that we sent you.
helixsleep.com/sloppy.
Get yourself a Helix.
We all have days when we want to eat well, but just don't have the time or the energy to plan, shop, and cook.
That's exactly where Factor comes in. They deliver fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs right to your door.
With Factor, you can stay on track with your nutrition goals, whether that's high protein, balanced meals, or overall wellness, without any extra effort.
The meals are fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes, which makes it easy to fit into your routine.
You know, I love coming home after a long day and having a tasty and filling Factor meal. It's waiting for me, and I don't have to worry about shopping. It's quick and easy, and one less thing I need to think about when I get home.
You know, I'm feral for fish right now, and I always get my fix with Factor. I recently had their scampi-styled shrimp and salmon, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint.
So get Factor today and start enjoying delicious and nutritious meals.
Head to factormeals.com/sloppyseconds50off and use code sloppyseconds50off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only, while supplies last until September 27th, 26. See website for more details.
That's factormeals.com/sloppyseconds50, like the number, off. Sloppy Seconds 50 off.
And we're back! Wait, but you told us all this, but I want to know, how did that first show go? How did you look? How did you feel?
Yeah, how
Looking
did you
back
look?
on it.
I was terrified. And that is the one thing I've addressed this in my last show, is that being a drag queen and stepping out onto a stage, and I don't drink before a show because I have so much that's memorized and I have to be really focused. And so, but that is like a metaphor for life and how we should live our lives, is that once you're out on stage and you've stepped into that spotlight, there is absolutely no room for failure. You cannot turn back. You can't walk off stage. You have to deliver.
Absolutely.
And that's sort of like a great metaphor for how we should be living our everyday lives. Just like step into it and deliver. And so that first show, I was terrified. I fucked up. I looked down and saw my parents sitting in the front row, and I wanted to kill them because I had told them not to sit in the front. And they said afterwards, we were so afraid people were going to throw tomatoes at you that we sat up front to protect you.
Oh my
And
God.
they were so afraid of me being openly gay and talking about openly gay, because not a lot of people did it back then.
How big was the space, the theater that you were
it probably
in?
fit like 75 people, 80 people. But what was amazing was that I became very quickly, I don't want to say an overnight success, but word went around the city very quickly that there was this drag queen doing something that no one had ever seen before.
Oh, wow.
Like, she's talking about the Catholic Church and AIDS and politics, and she's angry, and she's singing live. And so it suddenly became popular. And then it started to get reviewed in like the major papers. And so I created this like thing. And what was interesting was that I was never cocky about it, but there was always that little part of me that was like, I knew it. I knew it.
Bitch, you better do it. You knew it. I also think there's a we're so inundated with fucking media and content and information these days. There's such we'll never get back to it, the magic of making something in an organic way. And I think younger generations will never sort of understand this. They'll have their own, equivalent when it comes to technology, but they have a TikTok. Making a live show and then feeling it buzz its way through the city, seeing the articles pop up, all of a sudden being like, oh, more people are here tonight, or going places and everyone's talking to you about it. That must have felt like a tidal wave, like lifting you up.
It was such a magical time in New York City for me. And you're right. I guess it happens differently.
Yeah, they see numbers going up with the virality, but they're still just laying on their couch.
But it's not spreading organically, and it's not getting like word of mouth, which is
I remember years ago, young kids used to write to me on before any of it, like it was internet was new.
Live Journal.
And they would say, we want to be famous like you. How do I become famous like you? And I'd be like, first of all, I'm not famous. And
but
secondly,
you are.
Not really. But secondly, I thought that should never be the goal.
Right.
Like, that's not the goal. But you know what? It is for a lot of people.
Well, now it is, yeah.
And they become famous, and that is the goal for a lot of people.
And then they're empty.
And that makes me a little sad, because I think what are they really saying? How are they changing the world? I think that's what's so sad, is that I turn on the TV and I see, the other night I was at my mom's house and there was a show like My 1,000-Pound Sister, or the 1,000-Pound.
Oh yeah, the sisters. Yeah,
Tammy.
And I thought, well, they're like I'm sure they're amazing people, but I thought, like, what?
Tammy's a bitch.
I didn't watch it, but I just thought it's so wild that this is where we're at. And we're like voyeurs, and we're not interested so much in art or how something is orchestrated to make you feel something. Just
Mr. Warhol was correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I have a question. So
anyway,
how long after your first show did you start getting into movies? Because you were in Wong Foo, I think was the first time I saw you.
Yeah, I was in one movie before that I will not mention.
Okay.
But it was terrible. But
horrible.
Yes, but then Wong Foo came about, and and that was the first. I mean, I'm only in it for a short period of time, but it was a great experience.
But very memorable. There are two iconic shots. I wrote this down in my notes, but there are two iconic shots that I love from the beginning of that film. One is the dressing room scene where everyone's head is so tightly packed together in the mirror. And then when they say like, girls, 5 minutes or whatever, and everyone sort of breaks away to reveal the scene. It's
exactly. And I made sure
good directing. You're dead center, right?
Yeah. I decided I wanted to just have my bra and panties on so that when I stood up, you could see my hairy stomach.
Yes. It's so good. That kind of shot in a movie is like magic to me, especially with all of the queens. And then secondly, and I do believe, don't you have who has the gun?
I had a gun. They cut the part out where I reveal it.
So what was the story that you did on the stage with the gun?
Well, you probably heard this before, but when I went to audition, being an actor, Meatball, you understand, you're used to walking into a room and they're seeing just you in front of a camera, right? So I open this door, I walk up a flight of stairs, I open this door, and I step into a room full of the creme de la creme of New York drag at that time, from every area of New York City.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know there was a whole Latina scene in New York City.
Oh, okay.
I was in my little bubble. I didn't realize there was a ballroom scene in New York City. So we were all in that room together, competing for a big Hollywood movie.
Oh my God.
And everything in me said, turn around and run. Get the hell out of here. And then I pushed myself to stay, and they lined us up in 2 rows. And one by one, we had to walk this imaginary walkway, and we had to work it.
Right.
Anyway,
your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
exactly.
Work the runway, diva.
I'm crippled in one leg, and
well, according to Monet, you only have one leg.
Fuck.
No, I thought, what am I going to do? And I said, I have to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. They're giving life. They're giving it all. I'm going to give nothing.
So
and
smart.
I said, I need a prop. And I looked over and there was a plastic cup sitting on a table. I said, there's my prop. I picked it up and I gave nothing. And the only movement I did was when I would take a sip of my cocktail. And then at the very end, I finished the cocktail and I crushed the cup. And as I turned to walk back past all these queens, they all went, girl, that was fierce. Yeah. And I thought, I don't care if I got this movie. They think I'm fierce.
Right.
So then during the rehearsal, when I got the not the role, I was just one of the queens, but during it, Patrick Swayze, they choreographed it that every time I went to walk the runway, he would cut me off. And so the third time he cuts me off, I open up this purse and I pull out a pistol and I walk behind him with it held to the back of his neck.
Jesus Christ.
Now, to me, that's beautiful drag.
Yes, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But I think for Hollywood, it was too violent. And so they cut it out.
Yeah. There's still like a little blip of the pistol, right?
Yeah,
at the very end, I'm holding it.
And it's like, where did she get that gun from?
Yeah, people have watched the movie like 50 times. They're like, wait a minute, why does she suddenly have a gun? That's why. But they had to go and make it family friendly.
The
family friendly drag queen.
Friendly.
Yeah. Oh, I was so angry.
Were you also in the Cyndi Lauper music video Girls Just Want to Have Fun?
Yeah, I became friends with Cyndi back then.
Oh my gosh.
Because we had done a reading together of a movie that my friend Jim had written, who then later directed me in Trick.
Right.
There was a movie he really wanted to get made called 88s, which is one of the cabaret clubs where I worked. And so it was me, Cyndi Lauper, Nathan Lane. And then we did another reading where it was Cyndi Lauper, myself, and who's the hot Italian guy that has that show in Italy now where he goes around Italy?
Stanley Tucci?
Yeah, Stanley Tucci did a reading.
Oh my God. A young Stanley Tucci.
Oh, he was hot.
I'm like an old Stanley Tucci. That's what I'm looking for.
And anyway, so I hit it off with Cyndi, and then she did that. She did the video and asked me to be on it.
Oh, that's incredible.
And we had a big fight the day of it.
You had beef with Cyndi Lauper on music video day.
I'm wearing a little boa.
Yeah.
And Coco doesn't wear boas.
Yeah.
You know? And
Was
I
it
said,
chicken feather?
I don't know. It's a tiny, skinny little thing. I don't know what it was. Probably.
I love a chicken
And
feather.
I said, I don't want to wear this. This is not me. And she said, you have to wear it. You have to. I said, I'm not wearing it. And finally she said, you either wear it or you're not going to be in the video. So I wore it. And then when I saw the video, I was like, you know what? She was right. I needed that pop. My dress was a little too, it popped there, but on film, it wasn't popping enough. She knew.
Wow.
Stupid
Did you
lady.
ever apologize? Or are you still
Probably
not
not.
speaking?
Probably not. No, I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. More so now than back then.
Learn from this, Meatball.
I can say when I'm wrong. I just won't apologize. Now,
Yeah, that's true.
next in 1999, you were in Trick, and you delivered one of the most iconic 5-minute monologues I've ever seen, and it is top to bottom incredible. Would you do that again in that lighting?
And not in that lighting.
The whole time I was like,
was-
they keep putting her in the shadows.
Honey,
Why
the
did I
only
do
good
that
thing
down
about, the
lighting?
only good thing about that lighting is that people will run into me today who have never seen me live and be like, how did you get younger? That lighting is so bad.
Word. I remember renting Trick in middle school from the video store and like bringing it home,
Hiding it.
I remember, I forgot how I did this, but I remember asking the people at the video store if my parents could see what I was renting. I remember I went up and
that's
I
a red
rented,
flag for them.
Well, I went up and I rented, you know, some sports movie or something innocuous, but I remember I came up with some lie like these fucking stoner kids were, you know, in their 20s working the video rental care that a 13-year-old gay kid is renting a movie. But I remember saying like, oh, I'm renting this as a surprise. Can you see what movies? And they say, we typically just list the number, not the title, or like something like that gave me assurance that I could then like secretly rent gay movies.
Oh, so you're
So
smart.
sweet.
And I would
love
like
that.
use my allowance to go rent, you know, and I remember renting Trick and just, I was like, oh, there's like a whole life out there after
You
seeing
know,
that movie.
When I first read the script to Trick, I wasn't in the movie, but I had
Oh,
told.
I heard about this.
I was telling Jim. I read it, and I said, Jim, put away 88s, which is that one we did the reading of.
Yeah.
I said, this is going to be your first movie, and I recognized that at the time there weren't movies about gay people where they were just gay.
Yeah.
They
Right.
weren't coming out. They weren't dealing with this pandemic at the time. They were just two young gay guys looking for a place to have sex. And I thought that was such a positive thing to see
Yeah.
Right.
for younger queer people, but also, well, and it was reality. I mean, that how often I lived at home was I having sex in my car and things like that.
Right.
So
The bushies.
in the bushes,
The
yeah, in
brambles.
The brambles.
exactly on the beach in Fire Islands. But my point is that when I had the similar experience as you were, I went to the video store and I had rented a movie called My Beautiful Laundrette.
Mm-hmm.
And I snuck it home, and my father happened to walk in as I was watching it, and he stood there, and I was frozen with fear. And he said to me, "I know why you rented this," and that was the end of the conversation.
Oh.
But just to see two gay men on film,
Right.
I, as a kid, remember thinking, someday I want to be in a gay movie. And I didn't remember that until the screening, my first time I saw a Trick at Sundance, when it was over and that pretty music that they wrote for that film started, I broke down weeping because I had that moment of, oh my God, I'm in a gay movie. That childhood dream just came true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but I still to this day, I love hearing stories about, like yours, you know, renting it and sneaking it home and how much it meant to them.
Yeah, and I still like I still to this day, I think I watched it again recently, like within the last 2 or 3 years, and I was like, oh my God, so many of these scenes are burned into my brain because I watched it in a time where there was such a drought of any type of queer content that I really I captured it all into my psyche and like.
And you know what's interesting? At the time, I had even told him, I said, "Be prepared. The gay, what we used to call the gay rags." I said they're going to hate this movie, so just prepare yourself.
Why
for that.
did you say that?
Because I knew it. Because it was sweet. And at the time, and even myself as Coco, there were a lot of people who rejected me that I thought they're rejecting me because they think in order to like be, you have to be edgy.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that I think sentiment or is lovely sometimes, you know, and it has, I can be so self-deprecating and so edgy with my humor where it goes, and especially over my dining room table.
Sure.
When people come to my house, I require everybody to tell a shit story.
Well, get ready.
Get ready for this pod.
So, I mean, I know I can do that. I think expressing your emotions or feeling emotional is edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of guts and courage to like actually
to
be vulnerable like that.
Yeah, completely. Okay, but so you said that originally you weren't in the film. Did you write that part and like lean over to your friend Jim, right?
Yeah, no, what happened was Jim had asked me to help him audition people for the first reading of what at that time was called Gay Boy.
Oh.
And so I went to help him read with the other actors. And I was reading the part of Catherine that would later go to Tori Spelling. When he finished the auditions, he turned to me and said, "Would you just read the part of Catherine dressed as Coco, and I'll explain to the audience that this will eventually be played by a cisgender." We didn't say cisgender back then. We said a real woman,
real lady.
Yeah. So I said, "Yeah, sure." And so I did it. I rewrote a couple of the lines that made it into the movie. And everybody said, "You've got to keep the drag queen in that role." And it didn't make sense. So they wrote me that part. And then I asked the writer and Jim, "Can I rewrite it so it's in my voice?" And I added all that stuff. And the wonderful line about "it's big, it's beautiful, and you're going to love it" is because a boy followed me home one night.
And said
it was gorgeous. And I just started dating my future husband. And I wish I had said yes, but he kept asking if he could come up to my apartment, and I kept saying no. And he stood there, and all of a sudden he looked down at his crotch, and my eyes followed him, and his cock was just hanging down the side of his leg. And he looked back up at me with this smile, and he said, "It's big, it's beautiful, and you're gonna love it." And I said, "No, but someday I'm gonna use that in something."
Oh my God!
I just did a trick. And to see the billboard on Santa Monica Boulevard with that, "It's big, it's beautiful, and you're going to love it," I thought, isn't that amazing how such a moment, a New York moment, could become something bigger, than what it was.
He's on vacation in LA in his short shorts biking down the road looking up. He's like, "That's my line. What the hell?"
Yes. That's what I use on all the women.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take another break, and we will be right back.
And we're back. Ooh.
You mentioned Sundance earlier, so I want to talk about, because I heard a little bit of this story. We've had Varla on the show. I want to talk about Girls Will Be Girls.
It is one of my favorite films. I watch it all the time. And I know there's a second one out there. I just need to see it.
Me too. I would love to see it.
Oh, you haven't even seen it.
No.
Oh, no.
He didn't finish it yet. He promises me that someday it will be finished, but I have many fans who are very angry at me because we did a GoFundMe and they never got their product, and I feel badly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Way to bring the mood down, Meatball.
Oh, no.
So that one was at Sundance. Right?
The 2003 film. I heard that you all went to Sundance and no one was featuring you.
No,
and you were all in drag.
What?
And you couldn't get into any of the parties. Is this what happened?
Yes, totally. We were so rejected. At the screening, people were getting up in droves and walking out of the film. Yes. And so the next evening, we had to go down into the real city, not where Sundance is, but the bigger city.
Where the party
nearby. They were going to have a screening there for just a general audience. And I thought, okay, if people in our industry hated it, how are these Joes and Marys from Utah going to react to this?
No.
So we purposely sat in the last row next to the exit in case we had to run out. We were scared.
Yeah.
And the general audience loved it.
Girls, even in Utah?
When I was forced to give the doctor the blowjob, women were hitting their husbands and boyfriends, going, "You see, you're all pigs," like laughing and just being like, "That's you," and they totally got it. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. The industry, because it's so politically kind of incorrect at times, felt as though they needed to. And this is true. You know, in the movie, one of the big upsets was that in the movie, my character purposely goes and gets pregnant so she can go to have
multiple abortions,
so she can run into her abortion doctor. Well, Richard, who wrote the film, everything in that film is fiction except that he knew a woman that did that. And so he said, isn't it funny that people were so upset about the one thing I based on reality?
Oh, wow.
So anyway, but we were totally rejected there. And the New York Post at one point, our promoter said, oh, would you like to interview the girls from Girls Will Be Girls? And he yells back, the New York Post doesn't do drag. And I turned into that Bronx, "You mother," and I just started cursing him out. But we had so much fun.
Oh my God.
And I have a really great memory with Varla Jean Merman there of something she did that was so embarrassing.
What?
But I'm not going to share it now.
No, you have
it's too long of a, it's too long of a story.
Don't tell it. We got time.
I've
never told this story before.
Oh,
you're gonna dangle
an exclusive.
Okay, very quickly. One of the movies that was playing there was called The Station Agent, that starred Bobby Cannavale and Peter Dinklage. No one knew who they were. They were. This was like their first big thing.
Right.
And I fell in love with Bobby Cannavale. I thought he was gorgeous. And I knew he was there. And I said, with my drag queen powers, I'm going to run into Bobby Cannavale tonight. And I'm going to get him drunk. And I am going to blow him in the bathroom. And my husband is just going to have to give me a pass.
You better work.
Right?
That's a good intention to set.
So we get to this party, and you had to walk down this flight of stairs because the party was in the basement. And this was a party that was open to everybody. We were not invited. So Varla Jean Merman, we're both dressed up. We walk to the bar. She's ordering drinks. I have my back to my face to the crowd. She has her back to the crowd. I see walking down the stairs Bobby Cannavale and Peter Dinklage. And I said, okay, it's about to become a reality. Sure enough, they make their way to the bar. Bobby Cannavale is standing right next to me, and Peter Dinklage stands right behind Varla Jean Merman. She turns around, and unbeknownst to me, she sees Seth Green coming down the stairs, who is about 5 feet tall. He looks like a child.
Yeah.
And she starts yelling over the crowd to me, "Oh my God, he's so short. Look how short he is." And I think she had seen Peter Dinklage, but doesn't realize that he's standing underneath her tits.
Oh.
Like if there's an avalanche, Peter Dinklage is the only one surviving. He is like under her titties. And she keeps going louder and louder. And look how short he is. Look how short he is. And I'm trying to flirt with Bobby Cannavale. Now I'm trying to get her attention. Like he's right there. He's right there. And then all of a sudden she says, he's so short. He's like she says the M word.
No.
At which point I gave up. Peter Dinklage is glaring at her. She finally looks down over her huge pointy tits and sees him and immediately goes, no, I meant Seth Green. And I'm like, you said the M word. It doesn't matter.
Oh, no.
And we left. We left. She cock blocked me.
How dare she? You know, it was part of her
Come
plan,
on.
probably.
I know. I forgive her. I forgive. She's my sister, but I'll never forget that.
What were you and Bobby
Dinklage.
talking about?
We didn't talk. We didn't get a chance. She started in on Seth Green as soon as he walked up.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
That is
Anyway.
so wild. Varla, what a hoot! What a
She
hoot.
is a good time.
She is a true vaudevillian. She is so talented. And I remember the first time I saw her, I was out on we were doing an event together, and I was out on the sidewalk getting ready to perform my piece, and I went out on the sidewalk to cool off, and I heard this voice, and I said, "What is that? Who is that?" And I went back into the club and witnessed Varla G. Murray for the first time. And afterwards, she came outside, and I got her attention. I said, I'm a fan. Who are you? And we started to, and she said, the reason I moved to New York is because of you. My friend saw you perform that monologue you just did tonight and came back to New Orleans and said, Varla, you don't belong in New Orleans. You have to move to New York. That's where people are creating bigger things, art, you know. So yeah. So we've been very tight ever since then.
Look at that. That's art bringing people together. Well, let's quickly talk about Will and Grace, because I think that there are a lot of things. You've been on many episodes of Will and Grace.
Yeah,
even
well, not
the new
many,
season.
but yeah,
you
but
did 7.
just one. I was in
like
the one episode years and years ago, which was very, very quick. And then in this new roundabout, they invited me back. I think it was 2 or 3 seasons, 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah. And you like own a bar. You're like
Yeah,
a
you're like a
known character on
in
the
it.
show.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
How did you? First of all, working at that level, that's a mainstream hit network TV show, A-list stars getting millions of dollars. Like, did that feel very easy to be a part of? Like,
no, I was terrified, but I will say this: guest stars like a drag queen don't make millions of
no,
dollars.
I know.
no.
I mean, of course,
But the general audience thinks that once you're on television,
one time.
Yeah, you're rich, and it's like, oh God, that's so not
like,
the case.
You guys know the SAG day rate, right?
Exactly. But, the first time I did it, there was no live audience. We were in a circle for that scene where I'm on the phone with my mother.
Oh yeah,
and they filmed us all at the same time. And I'll tell you, I had a great time. I got to meet people that I really admired that were other guest stars that were on the show that time.
Yeah,
and. But I didn't feel like the cast or anybody working on the show was particularly that interested in me, or it was just a different time. And
right.
And I think it was because drag was not what it's become.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the writers and the producers loved me because they had seen my show.
Right.
But when I went back this time, it was a completely different experience. I was celebrated. Every detail to that bar, things that you couldn't even see on television, they did just to celebrate me because I saw it. It was such a generous thing for them to do. And I was overwhelmed. The stars of the shows always were so excited to see me whenever I came back. They knew I was nervous. They calmed me down. Everybody was amazing. I thought, and I also thought, when you make that much money, you should be amazing.
Right, of course. Well, okay, so I'm curious about your opinion on this, because I know you're very opinionated. There's a lot of conversation recently.
Opinion?
No, opinions are a good thing.
I know, I'm very opinionated. You're right.
There's a lot of conversation recently about straight people playing gay roles, putting, obviously, trans actors playing trans roles, and people representing their own identities.
Mm-hmm.
Eric McCormack is very famously straight, but that was how that show was able to be made when it was made. And I think that there are, as with anything, it's not black and white, there are exceptions to the rules, like really amazing allies who sort of see the world from an inclusive and queer perspective, who are able to be on that platform and play a gay character. So I wanted to know your opinion on that idea that we're moving forward into, where it's like, oh, well, only if you suck dick can you, do that role in Angels in America or whatever.
Well, being haven't been someone that trained as an actor,
Yeah.
I often felt like very torn up about this because I know people who are queer allies and would be great playing a gay role.
Right.
But I'm also from the perspective of that there's been such inequality for so long that if there's roles for drag queens, why not just cast someone who's lived the experience? Give them an opportunity.
Yes.
I think Veneno from Spain was a great example of casting trans women to play those trans roles. And it was so beautifully done that it was clear, like, that's why you should do this. And so maybe years from now, when we have achieved equality and people are working and celebrated, then at that time, maybe, straight people could do it. But I think now is the time to really just, like, if there's a role for a trans person, hire a trans person. Trick, those two leads were straight boys.
Yes.
And a lot of the reason was because back then, a lot of the people they wanted to audition would not audition for a gay role because they were gay.
And they didn't want to be out.
Straight boy,
so crazy.
It's so weird, and so things evolve. And what's important is the conversation and not making each other wrong about things, but to have a conversation. And today, and with cancel culture, if you voice an opinion and you risk being canceled. And I don't think that's healthy for our society not to engage in conversations because you're afraid that you may lose everything.
Right.
Absolutely. And you've somehow avoided cancel culture. How do you do that?
How'd you do that?
I need to know.
I don't. I pick very wisely what I have strong opinions about, honestly. And I will say this, a lot of what I say that I have strong opinions about, I save it for my shows. Because when I have people in an audience that really listen to not just sound bites or where something you've said isn't being taken out of context, but they're there for the full story and emotional, and they're hearing you say it, there's a better understanding of where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And today everything's sound bites. Years ago when I did that interview with Liza Minnelli, now I knew Liza Minnelli from New York City. And I always thought of Liza, I loved her. But you'd see her on television and that sort of frenetic energy and whatnot. It's like, yes, that is a part of her. But part of the reason she's like that is because she's so thoughtful and she takes time to think about what her answers are. So when you put her on television, you can say, you got 30 seconds to answer this question.
Oh, dang.
It's like, And so when I did that interview with her, the one thing people came away saying was, I can't believe how intelligent and calming and focused Liza was. I'm like, that's the Liza I know. But you're seeing the frantic, 30-second things. And anyway, so
what you're talking about is Conversations with Coco, which is the fundraiser that you did for the LGBT Center.
Yeah. And then we tried to get that turned into a television show, which would still raise money for the center because I'm passionate about that, but no one wanted to touch it. And it just breaks my heart.
That's so
I know
crazy.
it breaks my heart.
Coco, what about a podcast?
Maybe, but it breaks my heart not because of me. I feel as though I've had an extraordinary career. I've survived for 30 years doing what I do. I really have no complaints. What breaks my heart is that I know there are people out there that really wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And I think about my first interview that I ever did was with B. Arthur. And B. Arthur's no longer around.
Right.
And you know what? Someday Liza's not going to be around. These people are not going to be around forever. And to see them interact with a drag queen is different. And they all said it. Jane Fonda.
The clips,
really,
just the little clips of you and Jane Fonda is so fun.
At first she was a little cold.
Yeah.
And then she realized I'm in front of 200 queer people with the drag queen. Lighten up. And she started to have fun. And she cursed and she used the word cock ring. And I thought, you're not going to see that anywhere else.
Wait, there's the clip where she looks at you and she goes, she starts adjusting herself and you're like, what's going on? And she goes, well, you're so feminine. And she's like trying to match that. And you look out deadpan to the audience and you say, I'm sure my husband will love to hear that. But I mean, the list, it's like Jane Fonda, Liza Minnelli, B. Arthur, Lily Tomlin, Alison Janet, Karen Black, so many people. I think it would be incredible. You're such a great conversationalist.
I honestly would love a podcast from you.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Really, yeah, I've thought about that. I have thought about that. I just don't. Well, maybe you can introduce me to people that can produce it because I'm
that's his job.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk.
We'll talk.
Yeah, I'm really very not. I can do the artist stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm good at. You know?
Well, you also do your research because you had in that one clip, you got a stack of note cards with your questions. I was like, she can prepare.
Oh yeah, I do prepare, and even my
prepares.
even my one person shows, they are so written that when the tech people will often come up to me after the show and say, that was word for word, because I give them the script so they get all the sound cues right on time. That was word for word. I said, oh yeah, kids, I don't fuck around. But I will tell you that I find my freedom through discipline.
Work.
And it's not by just, my freedom really comes when I'm so disciplined. It gives me the space to feel so secure that I can just relax and have fun.
Yeah, and I find my freedom through tequila. You know what I mean? You know
we worked together. We worked together at Precinct.
Wait, what was it?
It was at Precinct. I was probably fucking blackout.
And now I have to tell you, that's when I fell in love with you backstage. I thought this person is a bundle of energy and joy. And then went out on stage and made the audience scream. I just fell in love with you.
Oh, thank you so
I'm not
much.
I'm not blowing air up your ass. I seriously mean it. It was like, I love this queen. She's outrageous. But you could tell there was a heart to it. And I think that's what I need as a drag queen. It's like, one thing is to be fierce and all that stuff. But if you come with a little bit of heart to it, I just fall in love.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. And on that, let's go to commercial break so I can cry.
Okay, we're back in our final segment, and we would be remiss if we didn't talk about your self-created, generated social media, YouTube content.
Internet presence is insane.
Well, I haven't done anything for so long because of this pandemic. And then, of course, my fans were writing in the height of like COVID, were saying, when are you going to do another shopping video? I'm like, there's a deadly virus going around. I don't really think it's appropriate to walk around stores exposing myself and other people.
But how did that come about? Oh, sorry.
If you're listening and you live under a rock, Coco makes incredible YouTube content where she shops. She looks for bargains. What is
you
amazing
played Grand
to
Theft
me,
Auto one time? That was great. That was great because that's my favorite game.
What's amazing to me is that you journey all the way to these huge stores and you look at so many things, and then sometimes you may not even purchase anything.
No, I just like judging things. You know what's interesting to me is, and what surprised me was how many people responded to these, especially young teenage girls.
Yes.
These were not my fans. My fans were gay men who were growing old with me. And suddenly I had teenage girls showing up at my shows with their, parents. And I get risque in some of these shows, and I'd be like, oh my God, but they were ready for it. And I think what these kids were responding to in those videos is that I am a fish out of water, whatever that expression is. It's like I'm in the middle of a Kmart where I clearly don't belong, especially with all that fluorescent lighting. And yet I own the space where I am.
You do. You're so regal when you're walking around. It's
Meatball's nightmare to be out in public.
But I've done it numerous times, but like, I feel like maybe I'd be more comfortable in a grocery store, but instead they have me running up and down like Hollywood Boulevard, which is like a very different experience when it's like you and a bunch of Superman guys dressed up. You know what I mean? But how many times have you been like asked to leave a store?
Every time. The
Really?
only time I was not, there were 2 times I was not asked to leave a store. One was when I was in Cost Plus World Market, pick a name.
We love the World Market.
Okay, so I was not kicked out of there because the manager turned out to be a fan of mine. So he pretended not to see me, but he got in big trouble. So I feel badly about that. I mean, he didn't get fired or anything like that, but they reprimanded him. And then the second one I expected to be kicked out of immediately because I stood out like a sore thumb was Home Depot. All these butch guys walk around with 2 belts and whatnot, and there's me waltzing around, dancing around the store, acting like a clown. No one bothered with me. I kept waiting. I was like, don't you see?
You kind of wanted it at that point.
Do you have like a big camera rig or it's just a phone?
No, it's either a phone or we had a little camera to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's more discreet
Garrett
than
Watts, who was a big YouTuber, he used to film me early on, and then me and my manager just started doing them. Scheduling.
Great.
But yeah, we had a good time, and that all started because the Target came out with the Coco
wig.
Just like the Coco.
Now,
and so
is
my
there a
manager
lawsuit still in order? Or?
Yeah, did you get your coins?
Yeah, like I could afford a lawsuit. So we went to Target just thinking, let's make a video for your fans.
Right.
And that, it just went wild.
Your Cocoa Puffs.
The Tension Tamer Tea one is the one that became the one that went. I remember looking at the number and thinking, something's happening. This can't be real. The number's growing so fast. But Tyler Oakley had posted it and introduced me to all those teenage girls. The internet is wild to me and how it happened.
And did you go in expecting to look at the Tension Tamer Tea, or did you just stumble upon it and like you went into that monologue?
No, I've always included Tension Tamer Tea in my live shows. Like I make a reference to it because it's something that my mother and I are very passionate about. And I think the word celestial seasoning Tension Tamer Tea is just funny. So and you know, the other thing is like, I'm obsessed with details. So if you say tea, that's not funny. If you say celestial seasoning Tension Tamer Tea, that's funny.
Have they reached out?
No, well, sort of. But what happened was someone had posted a magnet that they had, and they said, "Coco, I said, "Oh, I would love one of those magnets." Oh no, it was a tea tin. That's what it was, a tea tin. I said, "Oh, I'd love one of those tea tins," and Celestial Seasonings, they were in this conversation. They wrote to me, "Well, Coco, go out and buy a box of tea. You'll get one." I said, "Really?
How
about you send me one?"
Yeah.
And
I did not know about Tension Tamer Tea until Coco Peru came on the scene.
Public shaming is the key to everything nowadays.
It really is.
Girl, you should have seen the basket of goodies I got. It was gigantic. And so...
and then they put you on a block list right after it was delivered.
Yeah, exactly.
You heard it here first. A little shame goes a long way, divas.
But before we finish up, I do want to mention, because I've been working on it so hard, I wrote a new show called Bitter, Bothered, and Beyond. And I'm starting it next month in San Francisco. So if anybody's in San Francisco, I'll be at the Oasis. But, you know, it's very interesting. All of my shows sort of are very hopeful and whatnot. And it was very hard to write a new show with this pandemic and haven't been out of work. And I just didn't feel very inspired. But I managed to do it. And it comes from that different perspective as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the audience receives it. It still has hopeful, but it's just a little bit more bitter and bothered, I think.
Well, it's like, how can you not talk about it when, but all we want to do is not talk about it?
Yeah,
that's how we feel on this show. We're always like, we're not going to talk about the pandemic. And then we do because like we're all in it.
Yeah. And I address it in what I think is a funny way.
Right.
But the underlying messages, you know, like it's hard to be hopeful nowadays. And yet we still have to push forward.
So where else are you taking this show? Yeah.
I'll be in Seattle, in Portland, in Florida, in New York. You know,
New York
City, the one city you could have used your Bronx accent on. You went straight up New York.
New York.
Oh, sorry. New York?
What?
New York.
I'm gonna try to come see it in San Francisco if it doesn't mess up with my schedule. I would love to see it.
Let me know.
I
I'd love to have you
will.
there.
I'd be so excited.
Where can
I'll be
people...
very nervous because it's really going to be like the dress rehearsal. I've never
Well,
done
she'll
it
bring you
before.
some Tension Tamer Tea.
I will. I'll bring you
down.
gifts. Oh my god, this will be so fun.
Where can people find out about tickets and showtimes? Do you have that listed?
It's on the I think it's
At the Oasis?
sfoasis.com. Yeah,
Yes.
they're selling tickets now.
Now, you very astutely looked at the clock. You know that we are wrapping up. We do typically end our show with a little segment called
Fuck Talk!
in which we tell a wild and crazy sex story.
Oh, okay.
But you did also mention that you can't have dinner with Coco without a little shit talk. So we could also take a poop story because we do that a lot on this show
We do.
as well.
Our last episode, a poop story made me gag.
Yeah, it really did.
I can't sell it.
Oh, you can't?
I can't tell the one disgusting sex/poop story that happened to me.
Our show is literally called Sloppy Seconds. You can say
You can say
anything
whatever you need.
I
God,
was
I
gonna
can't believe it.
share that I recently took a road trip and I shit my pants as a grown adult person.
What?
I've done that.
I was walking. I stopped. I got gas. And then I thought I had gas. And as I was walking into the gas station to use the bathroom, I let what I thought was a fart out. And then I was like, it's wet in there. Yes. And I went into the gas station bathroom and lo and behold, I had to clean all that up. And then the one thing I bought when I left was diaper wipes. They had Huggies there. And so I went up to the cashier and I was like, please, thank you. And I went out and I was kind of in like an abandoned part of, Colorado, Arizona, or whatever, as I was driving back. So I just pulled the car around to the back of the gas station and fully cleaned myself.
Well,
and I was like, I am a grown-up person.
Yes, I have a similar story. I was
never.
You've never shit your
shit
pants,
yourself all the time. What are you talking
She
about?
doesn't even realize she shit herself. She's
oh my god, I'm
so
shitting
normal.
I'm shitting right now.
You are. I can see it.
Off.
I see that steam rising behind you. I can tell this story, but yes,
Okay.
I was driving home and I started to feel that gurgle in my guts, and I thought, "Ooh, I better." I was driving on the West Side Drive of Manhattan, and my friend lives on 59th Street, and I said, "I better pull off here and see if he's home." And then I thought, by the time I find parking, what if he's not home? Let me just continue. I still lived in the Bronx. I get onto the Cross Bronx Expressway, dead stop traffic. Then I'm in pain. Then the sweating starts, all of that. And I'm convinced that people are looking at me going, honey, look at that queen. She's about to shit in her pants, right? And I'm just suffering so badly. And finally, I just said, I have to shit in my pants. And I shit in my pants. And I was stuck in that shit for like another hour and 40 minutes sitting in this traffic, horrific traffic. And when I got to where the accident, whatever it was called, I was literally like, I need to see decapitation. I need to see blood and death. I shit my pants. I need to see horror. And I don't know what happened, but I finally got home. But can you believe to this day, we bought a car that has heating in the seats.
Uh-huh.
I can't turn it on because it always reminds me of when I shit in my pants.
That hot seat.
That hot seat. My husband will surprise. He'll put the heater on and I'll be sitting there and all of a sudden I'll have that flashback to shitting in my pants. I said, turn that off. I can't. I have PTSD.
Did you have to throw all the clothes out?
Oh, I probably at least threw the underwear out for sure. But that other story with the sex / caca, I did throw the clothes out. I will say that.
Oh, I just remembered one. I think maybe I've told it on here before, but I think it's a good one. So it was my first time going to a sex party in Folsom.
Okay.
At I think it was called I don't even remember. It was like Raw Dog or Cum Pig or something like that. And you go downstairs and there's a red room. You check your clothes in and you walk into a room and all the lights are red and you can't really see much. Anything color is just black and white, basically. And so I see a big dick and I go over and start sucking it and it tastes terrible. And I was like, oh, oh my God, what is that? And he pointed at somebody and said, his ass.
Oh, yes, you did tell us the story. That's awful.
And
Hello, Jardia.
And the ass in question, I know! And the ass in question was Layla McQueen. I'm just
Oh. And so what did you do? Did you
I
say,
stopped.
Sir?
I went to the bar and got a tequila soda and then waited in a long ass line for the bathroom and just like thought about my life and thought about my choices.
And then she went back. And then she went back and sucked it.
Yeah, I poured the
you were
tequila.
Like, does anyone have a baby
No,
wife?
she said that tequila will kill anything.
Poured it right on there. It went back to digging it.
Well, I'm not going to tell the story, but I will just say that
I'm
not going to tell the story. I was topping.
Okay,
with the bob?
With this young guy that we just met, and he, he
released.
did on me. He released.
Painted.
But what was so crazy was that there was, next to his bed, I had noticed even before this, there was an article open in one of the gay little newspapers, open to an interview with me. And I'm looking at my picture knowing that this guy had been reading an interview about me, and now he had just shit on me and didn't even realize who he had shit on.
And you're sure he didn't know it was you?
He didn't know. There's no way he knew it was me. No. We were both drunk, and I was very young.
Oh,
it is so interesting.
God.
I think just gay people
love shit.
No, it's a one commonality that we can all connect on when it comes to sex. There's always somewhere a shit story, even though mine was literally just about not being able to hold my own shit.
Yeah.
But that's fine. All right, I could have just told a better story, but this is my platform. So
You'll work on it.
I'll work on it.
You'll really learn to sell
I'm
it later.
doing my exercise
Darling,
right now.
it's important to have goals.
Well, Coco,
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, this was so wonderful.
Only with you people would I have the guts to even venture to tell some of those stories. Those are the stories I share with close friends over the dinner table, but I'm happy that you broke
Well,
me down.
I'm happy you told
them.
them. I love it. I'm sure there's a million more, and I can't wait to come see your show. Where can everyone find you on the internet?
I'm on Instagram and all those things, and my website that people still use them is cocoperu.com, and everything's usually listed there as well.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for listening to Sloppy Seconds. You can follow us on Instagram at sloppypod. Send us an email to sloppysecondspod@gmail.com. Gmail.com? Oh my God. Or call in with your fuck talk story to 213-536-9180. We're Big Dipper Jelly and Spiciest Meatball on Instagram, Fat Drunk Meatball, and Big Dipper Jelly on Twitter and TikTok. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't ever miss an episode, which comes out every Tuesday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Doodle-doo-doo. Forever dog.
To listen to Sloppy Seconds ad-free and one day early, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcast.com/plus.
Sloppy Seconds is produced by Forever Dog and Moguls of Media, a.k.a. Mom.
Hosted by Big Dipper and Meatball.
Music, editing, and sound design by William Pitts.
Executive produced by Willem Belli, Alaska Thunderfuck, Big Dipper, Joe Cilio, Brett Boehm, and Alex Ramsey.
Our artwork was drawn by Christian Cimarroni.
And our theme song was written by Mike Malarkey.